Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. We have Tommy Mello with us today from Phoenix, Arizona. Now, Tommy is the founder of A1 Garage Doors. It's a home services business with lots of employees in lots of states, and there's other things he's doing. He's an MBA, and he is looking to apply lessons from the white collar business, as he calls it, to the blue collar businesses. So let's welcome Tommy, and then we'll find out about him and his businesses. So welcome, Tommy.
Thank you for letting me come on. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to sharing some of my trials and tribulations with everybody.
Awesome. So you've been doing a lot and a lot of juggling going on there. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 38 years old. I was born and raised in right outside of Detroit, Sterling Heights, Michigan. And I grew up in an entrepreneurial kind of childhood, I guess. It was my dad owned a transmission shop. Didn't really know exactly what he was doing in business, so he made a lot of mistakes. I got to see them firsthand. Didn't pay Uncle Sam enough money. That was a mistake he made. My mom and dad went through a divorce. She was a realtor. She bartended for a short while, cut hair, and also was a server. Worked a lot of jobs to just see us kids get through. Gave me a lot of love. Anything really, I learned to shovel snow and mow lawns pretty young age there, being from Detroit. And then I got a job washing dishes when I was 12. I was in 7th grade. I made $4.05 per hour under the table because I legally wasn't able to work till I was 13. But overall, it was a blessing in disguise. My mom and dad still are friends, and I learned to work hard, got a lot of love, and then kind of fell into the garage door industry. Started painting garage doors at $100 a garage door. I could paint 10 a day. I was bartending. I was going through a master's program, and then started up a garage door company with a partner. And in 2010, I decided to go separate ways from him. And I'll tell you, the key to success, in my opinion, is I fail a lot. I'm a big believer in failing once and then getting back up and not making the same mistake twice. So I've had the hard rocks. I mean, if you name a mistake, I've made it. If you name a failure point, I focus on my strengths, not my weaknesses. I hire around my weaknesses. And as you could tell, I read a lot of books. So there's not a lot of books that I've got about, I think I just hit 1,100 on Audible. And then I'm a big fan of normal books. There's not a time that you can't find a book on my desk that I'm in the middle of. They're everywhere. So I can't get enough of it. There's one by Gino Wickman. He came on my podcast not that long ago. But just a big fan of readers or leaders. So it's a little bit about me. I love golf. I love shooting pool, and I like movies.
Awesome. So tell us about your company, A1 Garage Doors.
Yeah, so started in 2007. Just me and a truck and another guy, and then slowly began to learn I read the E-Myth, then I read the Ultimate Sales Machine, and just really got into systems. And a few catalyst moments were hiring my integrator, which is Adam, and really understanding how to build leadership and build culture and make sure everybody's kind of hitting goals that are important to them personally. So this year we're going to do close to 80 million, 450 employees now. And right now I've got about 10 people in another room building budgets. And I'm not part of that meeting because, quite frankly, I get a little bit depressed because they all set lower goals than me. So I said, build the budget for the bank and then build the Tommy budget. And the Tommy budget better be aggressive because we always want to make sure we hit our budget for the bank. If you do better than your budget, you're doing great. So we're doing our 2022 plans. And my goal is to do 150 million. And then I want to buy 100 companies on top of that. People think it's impossible. Most people in that room think it's impossible, but ye of little faith is what I say.
So, and the company that you have, do you build doors or what's it about?
So we service and replace garage doors. So we're in about 20 states, and we've got a whole training platform where we get people to come on as an apprentice. Fly them to Arizona. We've got 2 apartment buildings. We put them up in an apartment for a month. We teach them everything there is to know, and then they move up to a junior tech, senior tech, then a lead tech. We've got a whole process to where career development, and it's a pretty cool industry. You know, your garage door is 40% of your curb appeal. We trademarked it's the smile of your home. And it's the only thing on the home, better than your kitchen remodel, better than your bathrooms. The garage door gives a better return on investment. So a lot of advantages. I'm pretty passionate about garage doors. It's so simple. It's people are like, it's garage doors. Everyone's got one. It's not very sexy, but to me, it's sexy. I love it.
So did you mean to get into it, or how did that happen back when you started the company?
Yeah. So 2006, I had a roommate and he was answering phones at a garage door company, kind of managing it. And he said, "Hey, listen, we can't find anybody to paint garage doors. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Well, how much does it pay?" He's like, $100 a door. You could probably paint 2 or 3 a day. I was like, "Well, let me think about it." And I hired a guy on Craigslist to teach me how to paint because I didn't know how to paint. So I learned how to spray doors. And so I called every company in Phoenix because I lived in Phoenix, and I got 10 different companies giving me all their paint work. So I was getting tons of business, making a couple grand a week, just doing that on the side. And I do everything on Saturday, Sunday. And then I'd be meeting with these garage door techs, picking up a sample. And they're like, "Oh man, you love this industry. You're a really cool dude," whatever. I was just a kid. I was in my early 20s. And yeah, I had a blast. I mean, I loved what I did. And then I decided to go full bore. But I didn't know. I thought I knew, but I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do the job every day. I didn't know that what worked on the business meant. I just was always in it. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't have done anything differently because the mistakes I've made have set me up for a great next decade of, I think, what will be some big success stories.
No, you were very passionate about personal growth, with all your reading and your podcast and your writing and all of that stuff. And how do you apply that back to your employees in your company? So when we talk about white collar lessons, how does that work out, and how has that benefited you?
Here's one thing I can tell you about big companies. They've got an organizational chart. They got a depth chart. They've got standard operating procedures. They got job descriptions. They have manuals. Right here is my top 5 manuals in the company. And some of them are 60 pages. It tells you everything you need to know on dress code, attendance policy, transportation to work, time off, how it's handled, work clothes supplied. Everything's in manuals. So you take these principles of just job descriptions, marketing, and apply them towards niches that normally people are just, they work so hard every day. Most business owners in home service, they're so busy doing the work themselves. Their wife's a slave to the business. Their kids end up working for the business. And it's very hard because they started a business because they were good at a job. They said, "Man, if this company's making $1 million a year, we could go do this." But they forget there's management and there's entrepreneurs and there's workers. They're the worker. So they're stuck in this paradigm to where they're answering phones all day. Then they're trying to do inventory. Then the first hire is impossible because this guy just doesn't know how to do it right. If I want it done right, I got to do it myself. That's what everybody says. So I'd say most companies in the home service space, they own an expensive job. Literally, they're working 70 hours a week. Their significant other, their husband or wife's working in the business. They're not making any money. And they consider this freedom. Oh, we've done it. We started a business. Then they go to sell. And right now I've got 20 letter of intents out there, 20 LOIs. And I said, "How did you come up with this number?" And they say, "Well, we've been in business a long time. We worked our ass off for it. Blood, sweat, and tears." And I go, no. It's a multiple of EBITDA. We're going to take a multiple of your profit plus your ad backs. And I'm sorry, but this business is worth at max 3 times because you're the main person still. You're running the business. So there's so many things in the master's program, to be completely frank with you, Tommy, the speed of implementation and how to network. Other than that, I've learned a lot more through trial and error and experience.
In terms of let's talk about your garage door business, right? When you look at anybody, typically from a garage door standpoint, people don't really bother about it, as so long as it's working, unless something goes off and then they get tech to come and grease the wheels or whatever it is. So how do you generate business? In your line of business, how are you looking at generating business, and how do you grow your business, and what do you do to um, uh, keep your alumni of customers back, so that you can go back to them again and again?
So I'm a lot different than most home service companies. I focus a lot on inbound. I focus on literally, we get 10,000 customers a month. So how do I do that? Number one, Google is God. Google has 4 algorithms. The first algorithm is called LSA, local service ads. People have to get a background check. On my company, the technicians, I needed a background check in every location. And so LSA ads are awesome. They cost money, but they're cheap. Pay-per-click is the next one. That's called PPC. Those are just sponsored ads on Google. The next one is called GMB, my Google My Business page. That gives you the hours and the reviews. It's got pictures on it. And the fourth one is organic Google. A lot of people forget about organic. They don't think it still exists. They don't think it's a great thing to go after. If you look at my website, it's the third highest ranked website in the home service industry. I got beat by 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and they're massive. The franchises do a really good job because they understand how important SEO is, but optimization on those. But I like to be everywhere. When I'm in a new market, I'll do everything. I'll do, you name it. You've got Angie's List, you've got Home Advisor, you've got Thumbtack, you've got Yelp, you've got things like Groupon and Living Social. You've got pay-per-click on different things like Bing. You've got Valpak I'm in. You've got Money Mailer. You've got Clipper. I'm a big fan of affiliate marketing. So, the number one entryway of your home to bugs is your bottom rubber on your garage door. So when people move into a new home, we do garage door storage. Why not put some garage door storage up there? Because in Arizona, you don't have a basement. What's another good one? Why would you paint an old funky garage door that's dented up when you're painting your home? They're a great affiliate. So affiliate marketing is huge. And then I'm a big into micro influencers. You got a big designer, a big realtor in town that recommends us. Why not pay them to come on and use their social media influence? So influencer marketing. And then as far as keep going back, we've got software that builds campaigns to come out once a year. We've got service agreements. And the goal of the service agreement is simply, it's a loss leader. The goal of the service agreement is simply to put a fence around the home so that when you're ready to replace that garage door, that's when we make our money. So we give amazing service. We break even, if not lose a little bit of money. And then when that time comes around and you're so impressed by our service, generally speaking, we make more money on the sale than we would have a coupon shopper because they love our service. They're not price shopping. And the last 3 years, we've told you it's getting to that age and we made it work, but it's an investment into the home. One of the craziest things is we're learning a lot more about financing. It's been big in the automobile industry. It's the only way you buy a house typically is to take a mortgage, which is financed. And it's such a huge opportunity for companies is people buy what they need and finance what they want. So it's a huge opportunity that I think a lot of people, you look at your average ticket, my prices are up on raw materials 120% this year. Your average ticket climbs 40% when you sell financing. And never call it financing, call it a promotion.
What's the typical life of a garage door? How often do they need to be replaced?
It's about 10 years, but you get an elderly couple that's only using it a couple times a day. It'll last a little bit longer. You got the old ones that are, stuff made in the 60s and 70s was just a lot better material, but they're loud. They don't have technology built into them. They might think it's a brick house, but it's made out of wood and it's warped. It's pretty dangerous. If you don't have your garage door, I've seen seen a lot of cars ruined. I've seen a lot of people get hurt. So it's interesting now with all the technology. You could open and close your door from anywhere in the world. Your door will automatically close after 5 minutes. Your insulation, your R value, and your U factor of your home, it really lowers the bills by about 8% for energy. If you got solar and don't have an insulated garage door, I think that's crazy. So it's kind of like this new Green Deal policy stuff going around there. I'm really trying to my plan is to work with lobbyists to get the garage door with a rebate from the federal government It used to get a rebate during the Obama days, 2010 and 11. But I think getting that reinstated would really help our industry.
So this particular industry, what kind of margins are we talking about? For a company your size, is it a double-digit margin, or
Yeah. I mean, anybody that the goal in home service should be 10 to 15%. My smart companies, my good guys, the guys that I hang out with, in the air conditioning plumbing industry, they're hitting 20, 22%. That's bottom line. That's real numbers. One of my buddies recently set a record in the home service industry for 20 times multiple of EBITDA.
Wow. Okay. And then, it's a large company, lots of employees. So what about company culture? How do you go about maintaining that?
So that's I used to hate that question when I was early in the business, because I'd say I'd walk into work and there's 3 people on a cigarette break. The phones are ringing off the hook. Just stuff would always go wrong. And then I learned how important the employee is. They're my coworkers. They're my internal customers. I read this book called The Dream Manager, and the Dream Manager is, how can we have someone that's just responsible to help them accomplish their dreams? Home ownership, maybe a private school for their kids, maybe a 10-year anniversary to Hawaii, or maybe a camping trip with their dad that they haven't hung out with in 10 years. So I think putting the employees before the customers are important. People say customer comes number one. I say the employees come number one, because quite honestly, happy customers, happy employees, happy customers. You've heard that old saying, happy wife, happy life. I say happy employees, happy life, because and my trick is always be recruiting. Always be recruiting. We use social media to recruit, and we've got a system. I had a buddy of mine call me up about 4 months ago, him and his wife, and Vanessa and Jody. And Jody's a guy, his name's Joe. And Jody, they flew out within 2 days of me talking to him, because I said, listen, it's hard to find people. If you look at my Indeed and Glassdoor, I've got the best Indeed and Glassdoor out there. I've got the best ratings. People don't think about that. They think about their Yelp and their Google, but they don't think about their internal, what employees are thinking about. And, when I had Jody come out, he showed me, he said, first thing you got to do is have really, really good copy. Next thing, where would you want to be? Where's a 25-year-old guy that's looking to be a technician? Probably at another job. They're not on Indeed. They're not on Career Builder. They're not on Craigslist. They're not spending their time there. They're on Facebook. They're on TikTok. They're on all the social media sites. So we built campaigns. They got this whole follow-up system. They got full-time recruiters that work for us. I've also got a couple full-time recruiters. And we just came up with this way to automatically get the interview. I mean, they're killing it. Literally, I've never got so many people that want to work for us. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of applicants per day. And we've automated the whole thing. And I got to tell you, it's crazy. The results we're getting. It's called, they have a whole business for home service companies, and even outside of home service, Rapid Hire Pro, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen results like this. Rapid Hire Pro, rapidhirepro.com.
Awesome.
And so here's what I figured out. 1 A player equals 3 B players. A players are happy. They get 5-star reviews. If they're at the gas station at church, they get referrals. They literally, they don't call you up at midnight. They don't do drugs. They don't come in hungover, and they make a lot of money. Pay for performance. You will not get tenure working for me. I don't care if you've been here 10 years. You get tenure, basically. You get results by your performance. So my top CSRs, they make 25 to 30 bucks an hour. The bottom ones make minimum wage, and they fall off. So yes, I lose a lot of employees that first start out. If you make it for me for 90 days, you're going to work here probably for your life. But if you fall off right away, the system's designed to pay you like shit. Excuse my French, but it's designed to pay you way less when you're not working hard.
All right. And you mentioned you also have a podcast. Can you talk us through that?
So my podcast is called The Home Service Expert. I've had guys like Michael Gerber, Gino Wickman. I've had a lot of the best people in home service and just best-selling authors. And the whole part of I didn't really know. I knew I had a story to tell when I started a podcast, and I knew it was selfish in a way because I knew I could get in front of people that I wanted to get in front of. And, now it's getting 25 to 30,000 downloads a month because we talk about real ways to help your business, conversion rate, booking rates, ways to sell financing, how to come up with standard operating procedures, checklists, how to get a systematized approach to business that has an expected result. And it still is like, literally, it's almost like meditation time for me because I get to ask someone that charges $100,000 to do speaking events for an hour. I get to talk with them for free and ask my questions for an hour. So it's really opened a lot of doors for me. It's opened up a lot of speaking engagements. Been a keynote now dozens of times. And I think, like I said, I'm a workaholic. I'm not married and I don't have kids. I have an amazing girlfriend and an amazing dog. He's 11 months. His name's Finnegan. But I've got some freedom as far as what my expectations are at home so I can work. And to be honest, I love work. I don't ever come into work. If this is work, I got my whiteboard over there. I got my big desk. I got my books everywhere on shelves. If this is work, I'm just very, very fortunate. I feel like I'm truly blessed.
That's awesome. So for people that want to learn more about your company or your podcast, what's the best way for them to find them?
So the book, you can get homeservicemillionaire.com/free. You pay for shipping and handling. I had 12 co-authors in there. I got the COO of Home Advisor, the CEO of Service Titan, $13 billion company. So if you like the book, the co-authors just added so much value. And then if you want to find out about me, TommyMello.com. There's no W, so TOMMYMELLO.com. I'm on all over social media. We're really trying to build some big Facebook groups that deliver lots of value and it's free. Drop me a line. I'm all over Facebook. I'm very, very interested in helping people. Sometimes we do shop tours. You get to see everything. We've got our own wrap company. We wrap our own vehicles. We've got a limo bus. We take people, show them how we outfit our trucks. We show them everything on our training center. Usually we have 30 people training at a time. And it's like clockwork, and that should be the goal. Now that's actually Clockwork's a book by Michael Michalowicz. He wrote Profit First, and he was on the podcast, The Pumpkin Plan. He's got a lot of good books as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tommy, and walking us through your business and your plans as to what you're set out to do. Before I let you go, one takeaway for the listeners, anything that you'd like to share?
All right. Here's the best piece of advice I could come up with is when you're getting into a business, or maybe you're already started a business, or you're thinking about getting into the business, find the biggest, best company you could find outside of your area. So I want it to be somewhere that you fly to, somewhere that you could get out of your normal day-to-day. And I want you to take a binder and write 1 million questions down. I want you to talk to their marketing team. I want you to talk to every single thing you could. And when you walk in, I want you to be very observant. Find out what their mission, their vision, their core values. Figure out everything about the company, of what you're thinking to get into, and really make friends with a lot of those people. Because once you can see what success looks like, it's so much easier to get there. You'll be able to skip hundreds of mistakes that I've made and hundreds of mistakes that these owners may have made, or the CEO of the company, and you just take notes. And the biggest thing is put them into a Google Calendar to actually make those things possible. I see a lot of people that go to these events and these huge shows and they take 1 million notes and they think they won the lottery. They come back home, they put it somewhere under their pillow, and it never comes true. Actually do something. Take those shortcuts that they were given and use those to become successful. I got to tell you, I go visit a $500 million shop at least once a quarter. And the next ones I'm going to start with in 2022 will be $1 billion companies, because they're where I want to go. And hopefully I'm there within the next 2 years, because we've designed this company in a way to become $1 billion company.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tommy, and wish you the very best on your journey. Lots of inspiring stuff there, and look forward to keeping in touch.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being on your podcast.